Dr. David Lucas here, and glad you could join me on this field report. I wanted to talk to you something really important for us to consider. Those of us who are from developed nations, those of us who enjoy some luxuries and some ways of living that others do not share, often have a tendency to go into another culture and judge those cultures. I've heard people be very harsh on these cultures, like, well, they don't have running water, or they don't even have sewer. But you have to understand that it's imperative for us to consider how these cultures have developed, what's happened in those countries. Let me give you an example. You could take one country who might have gone through several civil wars. In the United States, we had one civil war, and it was destructive enough, but can you imagine 4 or 5 or 6 peppered throughout your history? It would destroy the momentum of the economic engine in that culture. Also, think about not having education. And again, in the United States, we enjoy several universities and institutions of higher education where people can go and have their minds challenged, much like yours being challenged now. And you can learn to think in the abstract. But if you don't have that education, compounded by not having a good diet, you end up with not as many people who have the insights and foresights and leadership that other cultures may have. So I think it's very important for you to think about how to view a culture as benignly as possible, without any kind of caustic judgment, but rather appreciate the good, positive signs you see in a culture. Behind me are large cattle roaming in an open area. You might say, well, there are no fences and they're going to get on the road, and a lot of other things that I've heard others say when we visited these countries. But take a look. The cattle seem well fed and they are being tended. So there's 2 ways to look at every item that you face in a country, in a culture. It's better not to enter into the culture to judge them, but rather learn from them. And there's much we can learn from every culture, whether it's 4th world, 3rd world, or whether it's major developed. So it's Dr. David Lucas asking you the next time you enter another culture, not to be so harsh, don't judge, but just be an open-minded citizen of the globe. Thanks.